Hi folks, Hugo Rivera here with HugoRivera.net, and once again I have my good friend Rodzilla over here. Bro, what else you have for me today?
Well, people want to know how many carbs does it take you to build muscle?
Ah, that's a good question.
Per meal and everything.
Okay, that's a great question, and you know there's a lot of debate when it comes to this because I even get emails of people who are like, oh, you know, I'm trying to gain muscle and I'm not eating any carbs. Right. I'm like, no. Well, first of all, let's talk about this. First, you need the good carb quality.
Exactly.
Before I get into the quantity, let's talk about the quality. Okay. You need to be eating good carbs, you know. You need to be eating carbs that are complex. What that means is, you know, good carbs like potatoes, sweet potatoes, which
oatmeal.
I love. Oatmeal, great stuff. Grits are good, you know, those are real good. You have brown rice, you know, all those carbs. They're complex carbs, they're all good. You cannot eat carbs alone, you need to make some with protein.
Right? Gotta have protein.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a minute, but you know, you also need some fibrous carbs, right, like vegetables. Like I personally, I love green beans.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, every meal that I eat of real food is gonna have some green beans.
Somewhere there. Huh?
Yeah, somewhere there. I'll put some green beans, I'll throw in sometimes, you know, some lettuce. I love romaine lettuce. I'll throw in some tomatoes and stuff like that sometimes. You know, gotta have those fibrous carbs. And what I love about fibrous carbs is that for every calorie of fibrous carbs that you take in, you actually burn a little bit more than what you're taking in. And what I mean by that is the following. If you take in 5 calories from green beans, okay, it takes the body, and this is an approximation, right? It takes the body around 7 calories to process those green beans.
Wow.
So basically you're in the negative 2 calories, okay? So you actually burn extra calories by eating your vegetables, and you also clean up your system, which allows you to actually be able to process the food, absorb the food much better. So you absorb the protein better, you absorb your carbs better. So
there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to eating greens, for sure. Especially when I was competing, Rodney, I would be eating literally pounds of greens per day. It was crazy. But yeah, definitely your fibrous carbs. So these are the good carbs. We're not talking about carbs like, you know, straight sugar and stuff like that. That is just empty calories, okay? You can have fruits, okay, like before and after the workout. You can have some fruits like an apple and, you know, some low sugar fruits for most people. And I'll get into the difference of people in a minute. But fruits are also good. You just, you know, just limit them to times where you're gonna be using those faster.
So you burn them.
Exactly. So limit it to, like, I always tell people, you can have them in the morning at breakfast, or you can have them before or after the workout. At all these times, you're gonna be able to burn these faster carbs. Okay. Now, the quantity. That's a loaded question, and I'll tell you why. We have 3 types of people out there, okay? We have the naturally skinny person, which is called an ectomorph, okay? Typically, it's hard for them to gain muscle.
Yeah,
you know?
They usually stay lean, pretty lean.
They usually stay pretty lean. It takes a lot of work for them to get muscle, okay? An example of an ectomorph was Lila Brada. Yeah. Lila Brada, when he started, he was little. More current bodybuilder, ectomorph, Dexter Jackson.
Yeah.
Little too.
Was a bantamweight.
Yeah, was a bantamweight when he started. I think he was like $135 or something like that. He was little. You never imagined he would become Mr. Olympia, right? Anyways, you know, this is an ectomorph. Typically a lean guy, hard to gain muscle. There's the endomorph, somebody like me. Right. Most people are endomorphs. You know, most people get fat if they eat too much, or if they eat the wrong things. So that's an endomorph. Easy for us to gain muscle. Right. We have to definitely manipulate the diet and the training to be able to burn the fat, okay? And then we have the genetic freak like you. You're the mesomorph, okay? That's you were born with more muscle than most, and by 7 years old you were already like defined, and you had your abs, you were ripped. You know, at 14 you already looked like I did now without lifting. You were athletic, but you were not lifting, which is incredible. So, you know, that's the mesomorph, a true mesomorph. With that said, a mesomorph like you needs like 3 grams per pound of body weight in carbohydrates, okay? Right. So you're almost 300 pounds, you're standing now at like 286. I will feed you like 900 grams of carbs every day if you're looking to gain muscle. Every day. You know, so you need to get that from your foods, and then of course you will need a supplement like the muscle mass gainer from Lila Brada.
Right.
It's huge in carbs, and for people like you, and for hard gainers as well, this is great. You know, you just go ahead and split that stuff like before and after the workout, and you get like 300 grams of liquid carbs right there.
That's really good.
You know, and then the rest of the carbs you can get them from your meals.
Right.
Because as you know, it's hard to consume 900 grams of protein from solid food.
Real
all right. So that's a problem you guys have. Getting enough carbs is a problem that hard gainers, ectomorphs, skinny people have as well.
Right.
Because they don't need as many carbs as you guys. They need like 2 grams, but still 2 grams per pound of body weight, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
You know, especially for hard gainers, because typically they don't have a huge appetite. So they have to force feed themselves. So what I recommend is that they take half of the carbs from foods that, like what I recommended, and then the other half from a good weight gaining supplement,
Right.
like what I just mentioned. You know, not made out of sugars. I like Lee's formula because it's made out of mostly maltodextrin, which for you guys is fine. It's easy to digest. You know, it's released into the bloodstream pretty quickly, but it's not straight sugar. A lot of weight gainers out there are complete garbage. They just have like a ton of sugar in it.
And get you fat.
It'll get you fat. You're just not gonna have the quality
Right.
gain. You know, we're looking for quality gains here. Now, there's the guy like me, the Endomorph. Okay, for me, it's easier to get fat. So it's funny, with time, my metabolism has changed because I've added so much muscle. But an Endomorph that is just starting out, what I do is that I first figure out what their lean body mass is.
Okay.
So I do some caliper readings on them and I say, okay, let's subtract the amount of body fat that you have from the total weight, okay? So then I calculate the lean body mass by saying, okay, total weight minus fat weight, okay? And then I get a better number. Then I use that number and I say, okay, let's go ahead and get started at like, you know, 1 gram per pound of lean body mass.
Okay.
It's a good start, it's a good safe start. And then from there, every couple of weeks I can assess the progress. If I don't see muscle gain, I'll bump that up to 1.2 grams. And with some endomorphs, believe it or not, I can get up to like 1.5 grams
Wow.
per pound. But you know, that's basically, if they're leaner, like a guy like me, I could do 1.5 grams easily. Because, you know, I'm leaner, and typically if you're below 10% body fat, you're going to assimilate the carbs much better than if you're above, okay? So to summarize here, you know, endomorphs, I calculate the lean body mass, and then I figure out, okay, it's either I'm gonna start at 1 gram per pound, and then I work it from there, you know. For guys like you, it's gonna be 3 grams. For guys that are naturally skinny, it's gonna be 2 grams.
Okay.
And that's how you know how many carbs you should be taking throughout the day.
That's very important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because if you don't fuel yourself properly, the carbs is what's going to give you the energy. That's the fuel to get through the workouts. I mean, if you try to work out on a low carb diet, it's very hard, you know. And what I use on a lot of my athletes is carb cycling when I'm trying to get them down. If I'm focused on just getting them down and gaining muscle at the same time, then I just cycle the carbs. But you need your high carb days to be able to support low carb days. Because if you go low carb, low carb, low carb all the time, not only will you suppress your metabolism, you also lose the energy to be able to train. So the key thing to remember here is that the more muscle mass you have, the more carbs you're going to require, you know. So follow these formulas, you know. Be sure to consume protein in every single meal. Never consume carbs alone, okay? And make sure to consume your vegetables as well, because a lot of people don't consume those, okay?
Get your greens in.
Yeah, you bet. It's definitely, grandmas were right. They always used to say, you know, have your greens and you're going to grow strong. It's true. So, anyways, I think I covered the topic pretty good. And, you know, if you like this video, definitely click on the subscribe button and click on the thumbs up. Share it with your friends and also let us know what you think. You know, go ahead and comment out there, and any other questions, we'll be happy to answer them for you. Until next time, take care and train hard.